What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Steelers Rewind. How about a post-game one, though, today? Live from Cincinnati at Paycor Stadium. Steelers do win 44-38. Nick Faribault here with you guys. And wow, what a tale of two sides of the football, huh? Let's start with the positive. The offense playing at an extremely high level. They go over 500 yards. Russell Wilson had over 400 yards of passing, the most he's had since 2019. The run game looked crisp. Play calling was on point. Folks, there is so much to go over, but let's start with Russell Wilson. This guy was balling. He had the most yards he's thrown to the middle of the field in his career today. The most completions to the middle of the field he has thrown in his career today. All that was set up, because they knew the Bengals were a cover 2, Tampa 2 heavy team. They ran with those two high shells all the time, and they attacked them. You talk about the dump offs underneath the running backs. The running backs had almost 150 receiving yards in the first half. And then in the second half, they went over the top, right? They hit Calvin Austin in the first half, but you think about the big plays to Skoranek, the middle of the field shots to Pat Fryman with the touchdown, right? The big shots to George Pickens. They did so much in the second half then to exploit and go over the top. How about that cover zero recognition by Russell Wilson to hit Van Jefferson with perfect anticipation. He threw so many throws with anticipation, just throwing guys open. I thought it was super impressive to watch. I thought Najee Harris had a great game. He was really hard to tackle in space. He ran really hard. Jalen Warren and Cordero Patterson both had some nice plays. The only complaint you can really have about the offense is, the unsportsmanlike conducts on George Pickens. But, let's be real here. You look at even the pick six that Cam Taylor-Britt had. Let's be real. That should have been a penalty. And so this is a great performance for the offense. I thought the offensive line, when we talked about what they did in Cleveland, how that was probably their worst game of the year, I thought they bounced back and had one of their best games of the year. They mitigated Trey Hendrickson. B.J. Hill didn't do a ton, and the run blocking was awesome. And a shout out to Ben Skoranek, man. How about bearing the safety on the Najee touchdown run, getting in the dirty work, making that big catch up the seam. This is a guy that does the stuff people don't want to do. He does it with pride. It was a really good game for him, too. So all around, what a performance by the offense. The defense, I think, was saved a little bit by the defensive line. I thought the defensive line bounced back, and I thought Terrell Austin ran a huge array of plays, things from blitzes to different coverages that they don't run a ton, right? They're usually very much a cover 1, cover 3 team. They ran those, but they ran a lot of cover 6, cover 2, different things that they have not run a lot this year. So the menu was huge, and I thought it was kind of revealing. I talked to Minkah Fitzpatrick after the game, and he thought that the defensive issues could be fixed by guys being in the correct body position. He thought that guys didn't take great angles. There were some miscommunications. It wasn't fluid. So there were a lot of things that didn't go well in the back end, too. I thought Joey Porter Jr. getting 6 penalties called on him, 4 accepted. Yeah, tough to accept that, right? But rough game for Joey Porter Jr. He's had great games before, and so that's why you believe in him, and the talent's all there. But tough game for him covering T. Higgins. Jamar Chase had a few plays after the catch that they should have wrapped him up on. He's a dynamic yak receiver, but should have been made the play. And then you think about, what Chase Brown did on the big touchdown run. Bad fit by Queen. Ogunjobi gets plastered out. But there were other big plays up front. TJ Watt had a few really big plays. Nick Herbig with 5 pressures today. He had a huge strip sack, obviously. He beat him so fast. He beat Orlando Brown so fast. Cam Hayward was a one-man wrecking crew. Not only did he have the tip ball that led to Dante Jackson's pick, but he had a few really dominant sacks. One of the reps was just absolutely dominant, where he walked back the guard right into Joe Burrow for an absolutely dominant sack. I just thought, personnel-wise, I didn't think they executed this super well. Patrick Queen, had a down game today. I thought Ogunjobi didn't play super well. I thought the secondary kind of as a whole struggled today. And so there are definitely personnel things that they can improve upon, but that's a talented defense, so you feel like you can get them right. But definitely one of the rough games, allowing 31 points today to Joe Burrow, but obviously a very talented Cincinnati team too. We'll see what they can do. They have plenty of tests coming up in the next few weeks, right? What can they do with Cleveland next week? We'll see. That's the easiest game they're going to have, but Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals again. We'll learn if they can really improve and how much they can improve. So we will see from there. But really hard to be super mad about this game. The Steelers got into a shootout, and they learned that they could run